Hi guys, today we're going to do our math lesson for Monday. It's lesson 7-3. So if you turn to your book to page 307 and you can find lesson 7-3. I'll go over the first two pages with you, 307 and 308, and then you can do 309 and 310 on your own. So let's look at this first page. So it says place value in 3-digit numbers. So go ahead and look closely. Now let's read this first part together. So it says, place value in 3-digit numbers. Our objective is to identify the place value in digits in numbers of 999. So place value is just what number is in each place, the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. So it says Henry scored 254 points in a game. What is the value of each digit in 254? To tell the value of each digit in a number, look at its place in the number. So you can see in the hundreds, there's 2. So the 2 is worth 200. So you can see the 2 is in the hundreds place. Its value is 200. Now, sometimes we're going to want to say that the value is just 2. But is this worth 2? No, 2 is not the same as 200. The value is 200. Let's look at the 5. The 5 is in the tens place. This 5 is value is 50. So this is not worth just a simple number 5. It's worth 50. Now let's look at the 4. The 4 is in the ones place. So the 4 has a value of 4 because it's in the ones place. So sometimes I like to think of it if the 2's in the hundreds place, there's 2 numbers behind it. So you could say 2 zeros behind it. So the value of the 2 in 254 is 200. Does that make sense? Hopefully, maybe it works. Or like if I'm looking at the value of 5 in the tens place, well, there's 1 spot behind the 5. So there's 1 0. So you could say it's worth 50. So there's a couple of different ways to look at it, but if you get a little stuck, think about it. How many places are behind it? How many places are behind you would put a 0? So for 5 and 254, there's 1 number behind it, so you would put a 0. Now the number 4, there's no numbers behind it, so it's just worth 4. Okay, let's keep going. It says circle the value of each underlined digit. So this 8 is in the ones place, remember? So we have the 5 in the hundreds, the 6 in the tens, and the 8 in the ones. So if I have the number 568, this 8 right here, there's no numbers behind it. This 8 is in the ones place, so this 8 is worth 8. So let's look at the next one. We have 509, and the 5 is underlined, so we're looking at the value of the 5. So the 5 is in the hundreds place. This 5 is in the hundreds place, and there's 2 numbers behind it. 1, 2 numbers. So you would need to have 2 zeros behind it. So that would be worth 500. And then 945, the 4 is underlined. So we're looking at the what place. Let's see if you know what place is this. That is the what place? It's the tens place. So let's do 945 and look at the number in the 4. The 4 is in the tens place. So, and there's, if you get stuck and you don't know off the top of your head, there's 1 number behind it. So you would take this and there would be 1 0 behind it. So it would be worth 40. Write a 3-digit number that has a 4 in the hundreds place. Okay, so you're going to make up your own. So I'm going to do 437. So what is the value of this 4? Well, there's 2 numbers behind it, and it's in the hundreds place. So I know that that is worth 400. Okay. Hopefully that front page helped you guys out. So we are going to go on to the next page. Let me cancel out of that picture. And we're going to go on to the next page. Done. There we go. Let's go on to the back side. Okay. I'll hit edit, markup. Perfect. Okay. Let's go on to the back. And now I have write the value of the underlined digit. So we're doing the same thing as we did on the front. Now I want you guys to see, I want you to go through, and I'm going to give you a minute, or actually you can just pause my video, and then when you're done, I want you to do numbers 5 through 12 on your own, and then pause my video, and then you can play it and we'll do them together, and you can see if all your answers are right. So go ahead and pause. Okay, now you guys are done with numbers 5 through 12. Let's check them over together. So the 6 is underlined, so this is worth 600. So you could write 600. If you got stuck, you could think there's 2 numbers after the 6, so you would put 2 zeros. The number is zeros in the ones place, so if it's in the ones place and it's a 0, it's worth 0. Okay. 317. So the 1 is in the tens place. So if there's 1 in the tens place and there's a number behind it, it would be the 1 is worth 10. 509. The 9's in the ones place. The 9 is worth just 9. 735. So the 3 is in the tens place. So the 3 would be worth 3 tens. 3 tens is the same thing as 30. If you got stuck, remember there's one number behind it, so it would be 30. 972, there's 2 numbers behind it, or you could think the 9's in the hundreds place, so that's worth 900. Then we have 849, and the 9 is in the ones place, so it's worth 9 ones. And then we have 1,127, the 2 is in the tens place, and there's a 1 number behind it, so it's worth, the 2 is worth 20. Now, I want you guys to think about, I'm going to kind of give you a problem that's not on or in your book right now. I want you to think, if I have the number 608 and I ask you what is the value of a 0? Well, boys and girls, the value of a 0, if I asked you what this is worth, is always going to be worth 0. Okay, there's a 0, there would be 1 0 behind it, but 2 zeros next to each other is the same. So if there is a 0 in the tens place, it would be worth 0. Okay, so hopefully that helped you a little bit. Use the numbers and boxes in the box for exercises 13 through 14. So we need to use these 3 numbers for these 2 numbers. Which number has a digit 4 with a value of 40? So which one of these has a 4 worth 40? Well, this is in the ones place. That would be worth 4. This would be worth 400. And this 4 is worth 40. So it would be 348. And then which number has a value of has a digit 3 with a value of 3? Well, there's a 3 here, and a 3 here, and a 3 here. Well, which one of these 3's is worth just 3? Well, it would be the 3 in the ones place, so it would be 430. Now we can do the problem solving and the write about it. At a basketball game, the coach brings a water bottle to each of his players. How many water bottles do you think he brings? Circle the best answer. Well, think about a baseball team. How many people are on a baseball field at one time? I think it's 9. So would he bring 2 water bottles if there's at least 9 people out on the outfield? No, that would not be enough. And remember, you can have 9 people out, but there's also extra players too. So 2 doesn't make sense. How about 20? Well, if there's at least 9 players and there's more people, because there's people who sit out, 20 makes sense to me. But let's check the last one, 200. Have you ever seen 200 people on a baseball team? Definitely not. They would not allow that. So 20, I think, would be the best number. And let's do the last problem. Let me see if I can move my face. There you go. So you can see the cute little robot. Dave wrote the number 286. He thinks the value of the 2 is less than the value of the 8 because 2 is less than 8. Is Dave correct? Explain. Okay, so this is kind of a tricky problem. So let's look at these two numbers. It says that he thinks that the 2, so here's the 2, and here's the 2. What is that 2 worth? Well, that 2 is worth 200 because it's in the hundreds place. Then he said that is less than the value of 8. Well, the 8 is worth 80 because it's in the tens place. So Dave thinks that this 200 is less than 80. Is 200 less than 80? Well, think about it. If I said, here's 200 pieces of candy or 80 pieces of candy, which one's less? Is the 200 less than 80? No. So why is Dave correct? No, he's not. He's wrong. So Dave is incorrect. Let's see if I can get a text box going. Oh, come on. It's not letting me do it. Oh, here we go. I think that's it. Okay, text box. Here we go. Sometimes it takes Miss Pishik a little bit to figure things out. Okay, here we go. So is Dave correct? No, because the 2 is worth 200, which is more than the 8, which is worth 80. Right? So let me try to see if I can squeeze this box to be smaller so that you guys can see the whole thing. There. So no. Let me try to get rid of this little black dot, this little black thing. There we go. No. Nope. And then I spelled something wrong. B-E-C-A-U-S. No, because the 2 is worth 200, which is more than the 8, which is worth 80. So is Dave correct? No, because this 2 is worth way more than the 8 because 200 is more than 80. Or you could say no, because 200 is more than 80 if you wanted to keep it simple. So hopefully that helps you. I just did the first 2 pages with you of your assignment. I think you can do the other 2 on your own and you'll be just fine. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday.